Can everyone hear me all right? Let's turn that brightness down. It's a little bright. Should be live. Should be live. All right. All right, guys. Check my bitrate. This is the first stream of this kind, so we're going to keep that in mind. Just doing some testing today, but I wanted to give this a shot. This is some live coverage of the severe event in Wisconsin right now. We may have a tornado on the ground, or that has been on the ground for a few minutes now, so I'm going to go and just jump right into it. Looks like we have Aiden out as well. He's not going to be streaming, so keep that in mind. But let's take the SPC off. But okay, so as you can see here, we have a severe thunderstorm warning out for most of the Green Bay metro. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Hail's not going to be that big, so it's not that much of a hail threat. But I think we have had a tornado on the ground, at least intermittently, these last few minutes. You can see here, I don't know if you can see it, but let me try to get a cursor. Maybe you can see it with my mouse here. Let's get that off. But see, where a few scans ago by Black Creek, it was definitely, looks like it was on the ground. Right now, it's hard to tell because it's so close to the radar site. But yeah, kind of losing definition here. Maybe a bit of rotation right there, right in kind of this area, but it's very slight. Let's look at CC, correlation coefficient. That would tell us if the tornado's on the ground or not. And it's very hard to tell. So that's kind of not sure at the moment, but it definitely was. If we go back a few scans, you can see the hook shape there. I get the feeling this was likely on the ground for a bit of time. Not so sure about right now, though. Can you guys give me a heads up on the audio quality and the level? Is it sounding good? Is it are we all good here? Because I've done some stuff to the audio to make it less abrasive, I guess. Cool. All right. Well, okay, let's push this forward right now. So broadly, what we have going on right now is just a large mesoscale convective complex stretching from kind of Appleton, Green Bay area up through towards Marinette, Wisconsin. You have 60-mile-per-hour wind, severe thunderstorm warnings all the way down the line, but the line segment by Green Bay right now has probably the best shot at a brief tornado. It may be lessening as we go forward in time here, because I think this segment may be letting go of its outflow boundary. But if it can recapture that boundary, that tornado threat would be going up substantially. We also have this lake breeze boundary here. It's moving kind of westward. We have to keep that in mind too. Maybe it's more so stationary, but when these boundaries collide, maybe that could result in some sort of boundary interaction that could produce a tornado. So we have to keep an eye out for that. Aiden's on the way. He's heading towards this Boeing segment. We can keep an eye on his location here with this little icon in Radar Omega. That's the radar app we are using for this today, and will be using. Yeah, the interactions between the boundaries when they collide together can sometimes produce a bit of spin. It can cause tornadoes to happen, so we have to watch that for that possibility. Let me try something here. All right, you should see SPC Outlook. You should see mesoanalysis. Yep. This is mesoanalysis. I'll discuss that later. This should be the SPC Outlook. All right, looks like it's all working. Well, we're going to stick here since we have a pretty substantial Boeing segment going on. We want to stick here in Wisconsin for a bit. But yeah, you can see there's kind of some broad rotation here, but it's nothing crazy looking. We have to keep watching though. All right, let's take a quick look at maybe our other warnings as well. Ooh, let's look at this. Okay, Perryton, Texas area. We have a 70-mile-per-hour considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're in this polygon, you're going to want to take shelter, go inside. Small hail, but strong winds. This is the Texas Panhandle into the Oklahoma Panhandle. Sometimes you get these kind of like damaging wind kind of clusters that can happen when you get these showers that can mix down these winds aloft to the surface, and that's probably what we're seeing here. So sometimes you can get these really tiny looking showers that produce a lot of wind. Either that or downburst, but can't really see much on velocity there, but if you're in that polygon, you're going to want to be watching out. Ooh. Looks like we got some flash flooding in the Albuquerque area and further east. Well, it's a block. The beam's blocked by the mountains there. KFDX, yep. Got some pretty substantial rain going on. Tecolote, New Mexico through Santa Rosa and Las Vegas, New Mexico. Not Nevada, New Mexico. Considerable flash flood warning for the southern portion of that line. Yeah, it's the monsoon thunderstorms. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back up to Wisconsin. I don't want to miss anything. Let's see where Aiden is. All right, Aiden's almost on this thing. Just behind it. Still, our scan's a few minutes old, but we still got that broad rotation there. We'd be expecting the rotation kind of in this area. Still kind of broad. We gotta wait for the next scan, I think, before we make a determination. Okay, the next scan, you can kind of see there's something trying to happen. Maybe something here as well. Look at velocity. Correlation coefficient. Yeah, it's still kind of... It's so close to the radar site, we're really going to have a hard time picking out anything here. But this isn't a very populated area. You can see this is... I think it's Des Peres, Wisconsin. Southern Green Bay Metro. I mean, you guys need to watch out if you're in this area for a possible tornado. And otherwise, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Going to want to be inside, away from windows. We're really going to have to see how this thing holds together as it moves closer to this lake breeze boundary. Maybe there's a possibility that like this area over here, Denmark, Morrison, you guys could broadly be at risk from the 60-mile-per-hour winds coming towards you. It might extend that warning out to the east, into the next county. Maybe a brief tornado, so we have to keep an eye out for that. We turn on our, there it is, our day one tornado outlook. You guys are included right at the edge of that 2% area there. So that means you risk for a tornado, I would say. So keep an eye out for that. Let's turn that off. Alrighty. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell. Looks like we had something happen there. Some contamination. Yeah, it might be some contamination with the radar beam there, you can see. But I'm not seeing any tight rotation anymore. This thing might be losing the boundary. This might be it right here. No, that's ground clutter. Okay. I think the boundary's just out ahead of it. But we gotta keep monitoring. Yeah, it doesn't... Tornado threat may be lessening here in the next few minutes. Other than that, you can see our little boundary here. All these storms north of it are going to be elevated, not really producing much of a tornado threat at all. Just rain, probably maybe some small hail. Not very much to be worried about there. Looking back to the west in Minnesota, we have a few stronger storms here. Not really spinning all that much, so tornado threat's probably pretty low. I believe they did put out the 2%. Let me actually pop that up here. you can see here, this is our tornado risk for today. We have that 2% that goes all the way out towards, you know, western Minnesota into eastern South Dakota. So we still have that 2%. Oh, is this a 1630Z1? Hold on. Give me a moment. Slightly outdated here. Okay, this is the updated one. So yeah, it still extends out towards South Dakota. So chance for maybe a tornado out there, brief. Probably nothing crazy, but we're going to keep an eye out. Okay, moving back towards radar. We'll take a look over here by Sioux Falls. Yep, definitely getting some flooding with those training storms. Maybe a little bit of something here. See what I see here by Larchwood? A little bit of rotation. You can see if you're inbounds towards the radar and you're outbounds away from it. Might be something here to keep an eye on. By Larchwood, looking fairly benign here, but yeah, looks like we have a storm trying to go up along this gust front or outflow boundary. So maybe that could induce some sort of tornado. Keep an eye out if you're in this area. It's pretty weak rotation, but we can't rule something out there, I guess. Keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at Nebraska. Guys are in a severe thunderstorm warning. Whoa. Sorry, it's a really interesting looking storm here. We have a bunch of boundary collisions here. See one right here, one to the south, probably one here as well, kind of all intersecting in this area. These aren't even in at 2%. We've had a few confirmed tornadoes out in this area earlier. Very interesting looking. I don't know if this necessarily is going to be anything to note, but it's warned for inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you're in this polygon, Lexington, Nebraska, Overton, Westmark, up through Sumner and Eddyville, probably want to be inside. Some quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds with that. All right, anything else we're missing? Back here in Wyoming, same thing, inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you're in this polygon, KC, Wyoming, gonna want to be in shelter. So, had some damaging wind reports out here as well. Eastern Wyoming into now southwestern South Dakota. That could see another severe thunderstorm warning issued out for this area. So keep an eye on that. Let's go back to Wisconsin. Yep, okay. You can see here there's really not a whole lot going on in terms of rotation. Pretty much nothing. I think this thing's done, at least for the near term. We still have this lake breeze boundary we need to watch, though. Collision's probably going to be happening in the next 10-15 minutes. So, since this boundary really isn't moving a whole lot, what probably is going to happen is this thing's just going to go right up and over it, and it's not going to do anything funny. So, at least that's what I think it's going to do. But we need to monitor. You never know with these things. Yeah, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, looks like you guys may have... Yeah, it just looks like some rain for you guys up there. Anyone up in that area. Kind of the main severe weather risk was... Oh, wow. So you were included in that slight risk, level 2 out of 5 for that area, but looks like you guys lucked out. Not a whole lot going on. Looks like everything's kind of weakening for the Upper Peninsula there. Even this stuff is kind of moving out of the slight risk area into the marginal risk area, level 1 out of 5. All right. Menominee County near Marlette, Wisconsin. You can check in on that. Ooh, okay. Hold on a second. Kind of looking a little more interesting here. You can see the shape, kind of that hook shape we like to look for. Rotation is still a bit broad, but you can kind of see the boundary here. And then you can see your outbounds here kind of strengthening. Might be something there. It's just so close to the radar we can't really see it. Let's look at correlation coefficient. Yeah, super hard to see. We're going to keep watching this. We're going to keep watching this. Yeah, these storms have been a little less organized than we were thinking earlier today. So that's a good thing. We don't want damaging tornadoes or anything like that. Definitely a good thing. I think we got a few. We had like 1 or 2 brief tornadoes earlier. This one though, you really can't rule out another tornado, especially with this boundary interaction, but this thing has produced at least a few brief tornadoes, I think, last hour. All right. Also, just a heads up, I'm not going to be pulling up any chaser streams today. I don't want to like have any issues with permissions or anything like that. This is a brand new channel, and I haven't talked to anyone about using their streams, with the exception of Aiden, but he's not going live today. So I'm not going to pull up any streams on Radar Omega or anything like that today. It's just going to be strictly Radar today. In the future, though, maybe I'll pull up Aiden's stream if he goes live, or I go live, maybe for another event in the future. But for now, I'm going to keep it strictly Radar. Yeah, I mean, perfect. You could take a boat out here in Lake Michigan, and as long as you're like here, you're probably okay, you know, this area. But definitely wouldn't be going out in a boat off the coast of northeast Wisconsin right now. Doesn't seem like a good idea. 60-mile-per-hour winds maybe wouldn't be fun. Yeah, Sturgeon Bay. Yeah, not only that, you might have little mesovort circulations along the gust front. Perfect boating weather. Yeah, but don't do that. Okay. Yeah, actually, I'll bring that up. You can see, I'll just show. What's the hotkey for drawing? That's differential. Is it T? No. I used to know the hotkey for this, and I can't figure it out anymore. It's not M. Control-Shift-D, thank you. It's not working. Anyway, you can see along this Boeing segment, we have these little like kinks in the line. That's gonna potentially be something to watch for a little sneaky little mesovortex or tornado along a gust front. You can see there's little higher areas of rotation here, kind of along the line. That's what we need to watch for a sneaky little spin-up tornado. This is bait. This is not, you know, you can't look at that and say, oh, there's a tornado, there's a CC drop. No, you can't. It's over water, so that's probably just contamination. And it's not really associated with any higher DBZ reflectivity area, so could be a water spout over this kind of bay area. Let's head back down. Still so hard to tell, but we might have a little bit of something here, just a really small area by Glenmore. That's, I don't want to say it's anything tornadic, but yeah, a little suspicious looking, but nothing definite. Nothing definite. There is a hotkey thing for it. Let me see if I can. Okay, it's D. It's just D. You just press D and it lets you draw. It's not Control-Shift-D, it's just D. All right. Special marine warning for Lake Michigan here. Wind gusts to nearly 50 knots. So if you don't want to be out boating right now, would not be a fun time. Want to go and get on land for sure. Metro Detroit. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you guys are looking quiet today. Nothing really going on. Same here in St. Louis, actually, where I'm at. Pretty quiet. Definitely not a super active day by any means, but just want to give everyone a heads up on what's happening today. Oh, this is funny. Okay, you see this right here by Denmark? That's not a storm. That's not anything. That's actually ground clutter. So there's something here that the radar beam is hitting and picking up on. You can see it's not moving. So we're gonna have to be careful. That also probably will show up as lowered correlation coefficient. Yep. That's not a tornado. That's not a debris signature. That's not a debris ball. That is ground clutter. So it's in a really bad spot. It's gonna make it kind of tricky here, but don't think a tornado's on the ground. If you're new here, just a reminder, it's my first stream doing this kind of live coverage. It's kind of rudimentary at the moment, but I plan on doing this more, especially over the next few weeks. So hit that like button if you like what you're seeing, and maybe the sub button as well. I want to keep this up. Maybe improve my setup a bit. It's kind of rudimentary, like I said. The pig chair and I'm in a bedroom right now. Maybe eventually I could have like a green screen or something up, but yeah, I don't want to dwell on that. We have severe weather. Okay, and yeah, you can see here now there's kind of flat. No real kinks in that line. It's just a straight line. So I think that tornado threat's lessening here, and that's where we're seeing the boundaries intersect too, the lake breeze boundary and the gust front. Probably done on the tornado risk for now, unless something happens. But I think that's about it. We'll keep an eye on it though. Check something. All right. The bug crawling right behind my camera. What is that? Turn on my lights a bit. What is that? I think it's an ant. Huh. Some music? Yeah, I might be able to put some music on or something. Some non-copyright music. But usually when we have a severe weather that's more significant, there'll be more going on. Maybe that would help with things a bit. Hey, how you doing? Just doing some live weather coverage here. First stream of its kind. Oh, yeah. Anyone in southeast of Green Bay? Looks like this thing's starting to kind of get its act together with the damaging wind threat. We're seeing some higher winds here as this thing kind of becomes more outflow dominant. Wind threat will increase a bit. So we're seeing velocities up to like 60 miles per hour on radar. That's not going to necessarily translate down to the surface. We're looking kind of higher up, but damaging wind threat may be increasing, so if you're in this area, probably want to take cover. I wouldn't be surprised if they extend the warning out to the southeast or east here to the next few counties. So just keep aware if you're in the area. Let's look back up here. Yeah, maybe something happening here along the that gust front. Not really a lot of rotation, but it's something to note. I don't think anything's on the ground or anything, but some strong winds there, and maybe a brief weak tornado if you're in this area. Forestville, Maplewood, Salona, south of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. All right, let's take a look maybe somewhere else. Some stuff down here in the southeast. Florida, lots of rain, lots of rain. Into Louisiana, but nothing severe. Really, our only severe warnings right now are up in Wisconsin and back in Nebraska. Ooh. All right, I think we might have something happening here along these boundaries in Nebraska, west of Kearney. It might be contamination, but I don't know. Let's... Yeah, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, but maybe wouldn't rule out a tornado. As you can see here, there's some sort of boundary, and we have inbounds and outbounds kind of converging here. That's where we'd expect a tornado to form. Nothing really super tight or indicative of an imminent tornado, but there is some rotation there. So, and it looks like we have a supercell that kind of is trying to latch onto that boundary. So possibly a tornado there. If you're in the area, definitely want to be inside. Otherwise, you have a severe thunderstorm warning. Probably also want to be inside for. So, oh hey Addie, how's it going? Oh, thank you, Ashlyn. I didn't see that till just now, but yeah, I'm still working on my streaming overlay and everything, but I just wanted to give things a test run today and see how it works out. Definitely got to move the camera down a little bit, but yeah. This is brought to you by Radar Omega. Really good software. Been working pretty well for the time I've been using it. It's been about 3 years now. 2-3 years. It's worked pretty well. And I'm also part of a project WeatherEye, which is we're producing these cameras that we put out in front of tornadoes, hurricanes. The link's in the bio, description of the video. So there's links to Project WeatherEye and Radar Omega if you want to see it there. I'm not going to be doing anything with that right now with the stream. I think this is just going to be a solely like my thing, but I am a part of the team for WeatherEye, so I wanted to bring that up. Ooh. Okay, I think that just might be contamination. Yeah. You can see there's a bit of maybe a supercell shape in there, but it's kind of behind the outflow boundary there, so I'm not too sure if that's tornadic or not. Okay, they do have it tornado possible. 1-inch hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds, considerable damage threats. So if you're in this warning, you're definitely going to want to be inside taking shelter here. Some stronger winds and small hail by Litchfield, Nebraska, Mason City. I think that's moving southeast at 10 miles per hour. So you want to be taking shelter for that. And maybe you can't rule out a tornado because you have your inbounds here, outbounds there. Some convergence would suggest a tornado threat. Potentially. They haven't warned it, so I'm not going to say there is one until either we see confirmation with a correlation coefficient or a warning from the National Weather Service. Can't do it without the National Weather Service. Very important. They do a great job what they do. Post a stream link on your Twitter. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, you can hear the clicking? Yeah. I have the filter on, like the cloth filter or whatever it is on the microphone. But yeah, it's really close to my keyboard, so I'm probably gonna need to fix that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to post a stream link to the Twitter, but I'll do that in a second. I probably can do it on this laptop. Hold on. Two seconds. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Eddie. I almost forgot about that. I was gonna do that, but I forgot. I don't even know what to say. Just drop the link or something? Come on, laptop. Let's look back here. Let's not miss anything. All right, yeah. If you're in Cooperstown, Denmark, Maribel, Wisconsin, your damaging wind risk is increasing quite a bit here. Looks like we're seeing an uptick in the strength of the winds as these boundaries are colliding here. Now we're seeing up to like 70 miles per hour on radar. Again, this is not at the surface. This is quite a bit above the surface, but that could still mean we're going to see some damaging winds here mixed down. So if you're in the area, definitely want to take shelter. It's heading towards Two Creeks, Wisconsin, Mishicot, Cooperstown, that's pretty much there already, Xander, Larrabee, Tish Mills, and then out towards Lake Michigan eventually. Still tornado possible, but I think the main thing here will be the damaging winds. I thought I was using the noise suppression filter. Maybe I'm not. I am. So it would be worse if I wasn't running that right now. So this is with that enabled and the cloth thing. All right. Still type in the tweet. Give me a second. All right, tweet's up. Put it in the chat. Link to the tweets in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a different mic. Maybe we'll figure it out. All right, back to radar. All right, no real change there. Some good news. We're not really seeing a lot of development back behind this. These storms that are over here. There's no real storms firing behind them, so I'm thinking the flash flood threat, at least for now, will be low. But we may see renewed development later along kind of this area. I can show you the models here, HRRR that we use for determining those kind of things. This is kind of like a prediction of what's going to happen. So here's it's showing our squall line and going out over Lake Michigan, but we see renewed kind of spotty thunderstorm development back behind there. So, you know, Stevens Point through La Crosse up through, like, what is that? Kashena. Probably looking like you guys might get some more rain, maybe some isolated flash flooding, but nothing crazy, I don't think. Yes, yeah, Keenan, I'll check that out in a second once we're done with the stream. Definitely going to want to look into some better noise cancellation software because, yeah, you don't want to hear clicking all the time. For sure. North Platte, got some flash flooding reports. Let's go back to this. It looks like our rotation's kind of decreasing up here by Litchfield. Probably mainly just a hail and wind threat right now. If you're in that area in Nebraska, Ravenna, Kearney, Nebraska. So kind of looks elevated. We can actually take a look at that using mesoanalysis here, which is it's pretty much a way to kind of monitor the conditions of the atmosphere. Right now we're looking at instability or convective available potential energy, or CAPE. That's pretty much telling us how much energy is in the atmosphere. And as you can see here, it's a lot of blue. We want to see the maybe one more sector. We want to see more of this kind of white color in these contours with red and like dark red. That's indicating we have unstable atmospheric conditions at the surface. And then if we look at mixed layer, this is a little higher up off the surface. That gives us an idea of how unstable the atmosphere is and how much energy is available. And if we see those blues, that indicates that we have stable air or air that has been kind of overturned by thunderstorms. Like it's been used up. There's not really a lot of energy left. So we're seeing over central Nebraska there that maybe this side is unstable, this side's stable. So still in somewhat of a more unstable environment. Maybe at the surface, there's some convective inhibition or stable air. So maybe that could be reducing our tornado threat, but still think it's non-zero. But you can even tell here just how chaotic the velocity scan is. There's just a ton of different little pock marks and inbounds and outbounds everywhere. Probably not surface-based, or at least not right now, but this does look like it is trying to grab a boundary, so I'm not too sold on that. Oh, yeah, I can try that. Good suggestion, Addie. Let me do that. Or is it like way further away? Does it sound way further away or like distant or anything? Is this any better? Okay, we'll do more of that. I'll just keep it there. But yeah, tornado threat I think is starting to come up a bit. Ravenna, Kearney, maybe a land spout, maybe not a tornado, but there is a bit of rotation here. That might actually be mesocyclonic, so that would be actual tornadic kind of circulation there. So along that outflow boundary, but it's hard to tell. But I'd be monitoring if you're in this area. Otherwise, 70-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. So definitely be in shelter for that. There's some cells firing up in front of the boundary as well. Just warned for quarter-size hail and 6-mile-per-hour winds by Wolbach, Timber Creek, Belgrade, St. Paul, Nebraska area. So that's that. Check back in on Wisconsin here. Yep, I would say the tornado threat is substantially less now. That outflow boundary is probably getting well ahead of the storm. Yeah. Luckily for you guys, southeast of Green Bay, your severe threat looks to be decreasing as the squall line kind of moves out over Lake Michigan. Yeah, kind of a quiet day now. We don't have a whole lot going on. It is July, so we're not really expecting any super high impact, like large scale severe weather events. You can get them in July, occasionally, especially with northwesterly flow. You get those mesoscale convective systems or derechos happen in July a lot, but we need a more organized severe weather pattern than we have for that right now. So just hit my knee on my desk. Oh. All right. Let's check back in on Nebraska. Not a whole lot of rotation there anymore. Maybe a little bit. Still 70-mile-per-hour winds on that. That is just north of Kearney, Nebraska. And for Kearney, you're included in that warning. Yeah. Probably going to be wrapping things up. Probably the next 10-15 minutes. Don't want to be doing this too long because there's not really a whole lot going on, but a good test stream for sure. Pretty fun. Pretty cool to be doing this for the first time, but it can get really chaotic when you have these really like involved days with a ton of things happening. You know, lots of tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. It can get pretty chaotic. Right. Let's touch back on Nebraska. Yeah, we still have that like hook feature, but it doesn't look super organized at the moment. Look at storm relative velocity, maybe we could see something. Nope, not really. Some more storms by Sioux Falls. Got a lot of rain falling in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That rain's about to start moving out, but got some flash flooding here. Some pretty heavy rainfall. Maybe up to 3 inches, 3.5 inches southeast of and east of Sioux Falls. Wow. Expected rainfall rate is 2 to 4.5 inches in 1 hour. So if you're in flood prone areas, definitely want to take this into account. Especially if you're on like the southeast side of Sioux Falls, but the warning's out for this area, south and east, and slightly northeast up towards Brandon. South Dakota. A lot of rain falling. Oh, we even have severe thunderstorm warnings for Canada, which is surprising. Way up here in British Columbia and the parts of Alberta as well. Pretty cool. It's pretty common this time of year for Canada. Ooh. This storm right here may be even spinning a bit. You can see we have inbounds, we have outbounds. This one too. But it's kind of far from the radar site, so we can't tell if there's a tornado or anything. But we can see it's broadly spinning, at least higher up. So beam is probably scanning fairly high. What else should we look at? Checking on Florida. Some flash flooding going on by Brantford up in the Big Bend. Got some just tropical rainfall going on. Lots of moisture here, promoting a lot of rain. Especially up here in Chipley, Bonifay, Chattahoochee, Quincy, Marietta. And a lot of rain. But it's Florida. You guys are used to getting rain. I'm from Florida. It's very common. You know, it's summer. You're going to get a ton of rain and lightning. I think this is our broad low pressure, actually, from the National Hurricane Center. Let's see if I can pull it up. Show you guys. Yep. 10% chance of development over the next 7 days through 40 hours, also 10%. Very low end tropical disturbance. Probably is not going to do anything, but just bringing broad low level spin here. And just some rain and moisture. So that'll probably be tracking off to this direction to the west over the next few days. And no hurricane risk with this. No tropical storm risk, more than likely. But just some rain, probably. So not impossible. The National Hurricane Center could end up increasing the probabilities on this, but more than likely it's going to be just some rain. So wanted to bring that up because you can kind of see the area of spin if you play back the loop here. Actually, maybe you can't. Maybe it's that weak, but I think the low center is somewhere like here, so, or would be. But it's very, very weak system. Yeah, Nebraska. That 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds through thunderstorm warning is still in effect for the next 15 minutes. So if you're in the polygon, you're going to want to be inside. That's for Kearney up through Loop City, Ravenna, that kind of area. Some water. It's important that you drink some water. Remember to hydrate. All right, probably going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. But Shane, we can take a look at Kentucky, or Kansas, I should say. Yep, looks like got some rain headed your way. With this outflow boundary, we'll be propagating kind of south-southeast. So you'll be getting some rain. That's good. And we could use some rain out here in Missouri. Good Lord, it is hot and humid. Feels like Florida out here under these extreme heat warnings. Actually, why don't I show that? That'd be pretty cool. Look how much these purple polygons, purple pink polygons, whatever you see. That's an extreme heat warning. It's really hot in the Mississippi Valley here. I want it to be over. It sucks. It's not very fun. You can see St. Louis Metro also included in that. Not fun. Not fun at all. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't think it's that hot. Might be slightly higher than the real value, but yeah, it's hot out there. It is the Jefferson County Parks and Recreation camera. Handy to have. That's all on Radar Omega. Check back in on Wisconsin here. Yep, looks like your severe threat's wrapping up. If you're southeast of Green Bay, Appleton. That outflow boundary is well out ahead of everything now, with the exception of the part of the line that's up by Sister Bay, Bailey's Harbor, but that should be moving out within the next 30 minutes. Yeah, Mizzou is online, surprisingly, which it's really weird because it usually isn't. But it looks like they got it back working again. Also, Western Illinois University is up too. So that'll help fill out the radar holes a bit. Yeah. All right, I'll probably wrap this up at 7:10, so like 5 minutes, 7 minutes-ish. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is a good test run. Definitely have a few things I need to work on for noise cancellation for one. Maybe bringing the camera down a bit. See, I don't can't duck out of the way, but yeah. Also, maybe a more active day could be nice, but maybe there's some people out there that would like to know what's going on in terms of the weather. Maybe you don't need to always be live for the most crazy events, but you never know. Maybe someone's watching from the area and they appreciate the coverage, but yeah. Also want to give a shout out to Aiden, Aiden _WX. Maybe we can put his link to his channel. Oh, that's in the description. So if you want to see a link to Aiden's channel, one of good friends of mine, he goes out chasing quite often. He streams too, so if you want to watch his stream, go to the link in my description. It says Aiden and then the link to his channel. That's where you can see his streams. He's a great friend. So he gets some good footage. He's seen some cool stuff. As well as Vince. He's also in the description. Another good friend of mine. So also associated with Project WeatherEye. Really cool things happening with that. So yeah, I'm just focused on the right now on just live coverage and giving streaming a try. So yeah. It looks like we're quieting down a bit here. Ooh, look at that wind. Yeah, 60, 70 mile per hour wind scans up here in Nebraska. This is all turning into an MCS as it moves off to the east towards Grand Island. You guys are now included in a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 70 mile per hour winds, 1-inch hail. You have this Boeing segment headed your way. So if you're in that warning, seek shelter. go inside. Definitely don't want to be outside with that. That can cause some flying debris with that strong of winds. So probably track further off to the east as well. Wish we had a camera to see that. That could be pretty cool, but none in the area. We have one up here in Norfolk, Nebraska. Yeah, I can't see much from there. A little too far away, but no worries. Oh, we got a special weather statement out here in California. Look at this little baby thunderstorm. In the west. Wind gusts up to 50 and pea-sized hail. That's Truckee, California. Floriston. Heading towards the Tahoe National Forest. It's kind of a mountainy area. It's pretty cool. Got some moisture out here in the mountains. Yeah. To Wisconsin. Yep. I think the bulk of the threat is over Lake Michigan now, where this should die. I don't really expect this Boeing segment to be too severe as it reaches the western part of Michigan, because there's not a lot of instability over the lake. It's actually pretty stable. You can tell. Change the sector here on mesoanalysis. Pull up the scene. You can kind of tell because you see how there's not a lot of contours here showing instability. That means there's pretty much none there. So as this MCS moves over the lake, it'll probably weaken and die. I don't expect it to be too organized as it comes into Michigan. Yeah, I feel bad for Aiden because not really a whole lot going on. So yeah, kind of stinks, but that's probably a good thing. We don't have really much going on. No damaging tornadoes really today. Maybe like one or two brief tornadoes, but I doubt it was anything significant, I should say. Yeah, I agree. Kind of stinks, but we've seen some crazy tornadoes this year, so I guess it's kind of nice to have a break. Might be some small hail with this kind of cluster by Albert Lee, Minnesota, and Mason City, Iowa, just north of there. That's moving northeast towards Austin. Wouldn't be surprised they put a special weather statement out or something for this eventually if the hail gets too large. Maybe they might want to put a few out. I mean, some of these little clusters might have some small hail, maybe up to an inch, less than an inch. So may see eventually a severe thunderstorm warning or special weather statement out for some of these. Yeah, it looks like this is kind of wrapping up. Things are kind of weakening out. Still fairly strong Boeing segment here in Nebraska. Capable of up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. Maybe more. So if you're, like I said, you want to be in shelter if you're in Wood River, Grand Island, Hastings, Kennesaw, Nebraska. Take a look at tomorrow, since we're here. I don't know if this will look any good. That's not bad. All right. Really haven't loaded yet. I think we're too early for the 0Z model runs, so maybe we'll give it a little longer, but maybe not. Maybe we can take a look with the HRRR in Radar Omega. Get a preview of things here. 23Z isn't quite loaded, but we maybe can put out the 22Z as long as it goes and see what it says for tomorrow. Okay, we only go through 11 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah, I think we're a little too far out to see anything. All right, so I'll kind of wrap it up here, guys. Thanks for watching. Plan on doing more of these in the future, so yeah. I'll have more information on my posts on my channel, like the posts tab. I'll probably put some stuff in there when I'm planning streams and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been fun. That was a pretty cool little stream, giving things a try. So, all right, well, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you sometime soon. Bye-bye.